Well, hello, my fellow Memphians, Tennesseans, U.S. Americans. This is your boy, a friend Tinoco, here to make it clear that I'm going to tell you what you need to know and not what you want to hear. You like that as a new intro? I might use it. Anyway, I want to follow up from my prior discussion and use it as a smooth segue into a new series of discussions regarding the economics of sport or specific aspect of it. We were talking about Brittany Griner last time, and I need to make a correction and an affirmation. I failed to mention why I was bringing up Joe Rogan in the prior conversation. Joe Rogan was the one who actually he dedicated one of his episodes to talk about Brittany Griner, and he mentioned the many thousands of people who are wrongly incarcerated because of designed law to uh, to basically support the boondoggle of a war on drugs, and with the secondary but important effect of disenfranchising black and brown people, which was the original intent back in the day. So yeah, that I credit to that notion. I credit to him, and he is completely right. Just because we happen to know, some of us, okay, happen to know and love well because of our connections to the NBA or to basketball in general, we specifically cry for Brittany Griner. Now, we need to be at least as enthusiastic about promoting the case of those other thousands of people who for much longer have been unjustly held in our own jails for this unjust law. Well, this merits other discussions. Our drug laws merit another discussion on at least a couple of other layers in other episodes. The other thing I want to do is I want to expand upon this discussion of women's sports in order to bring up something else. Notably, another comedian, Bill Burr, has been lambasting the calls for equal pay from the women's national soccer team versus the men's national soccer team, because women's sports don't generate enough revenue. In the case of the NBA, this is very much the case. Very much the case. Let's see, I think the average pay in the NBA is 44 times per person than the average pay in the WNBA. However, the differentials in revenue streams are much more than 44 times. Probably about 200 times. Seriously, something like between 70 billion and 70 million and 14 billion. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous difference. And to expect pay to be equal when revenues are not equal. In fact, the owners of the NBA subsidize. They lose money maintaining the women's league. Okay, there is a need, however, not an economic demand, let's say, for participants in this sport. I would say it may be within merit to cut a couple teams, and then you'll be able to pay better in larger markets or where it has been embraced more enthusiastically. and the market pays more, because this is actually costing the owners, the individual owners of NBA franchises, money to maintain the league. That being said, okay, and aside from the proper consideration of Title IX at the college level, which I agree to, for sure, read up on Title IX. I think it was promulgated back in the early 70s, which gives equal numbers of varsity spots, earning scholarships to both men and women, which probably is why soccer is a women's only sport in the SEC schools, because adding men's soccer in the SEC schools will upset the balance. But anyway, soccer. Mr. Bill Burr has lambasted because he's generalizing from the case of the WNBA to the case of the U.S. women's national soccer team, vis-a-vis the men's national soccer team. Let's be clear. The U.S. men's national soccer team does not out-earn the women. The U.S. men's national soccer team does not out-earn, in general, revenues, total revenues, the formulas for compensation, okay, are different. They're favorable for the men, but the revenue brought in from tickets, licensing, promotions, the like, the pool of money through which you pay participants in the U.S. women's national soccer team is not significantly in some cases, especially the years 2015 to 2018, and their run up to the championship, the World Cup, which they won in 2018. You see, the total pool from pay is not different. We're talking about both teams earning about, something about $18 million per year. And of course, we're only talking about 25 people on a roster at the same time. So there's a good living to be made, but the formulas are not fair. In this, and you look at the attendance of these games, the U.S. women's national soccer team are rock stars. Absolute rock stars. You may not believe with a couple of them politically, but they are absolute rock stars. They win the damn thing. There are a lot of girls who get in the sport seeking to do what they do. Right now, the pool of women's soccer talent, like men's soccer actually, is getting better every year. And I would posit that the success of the women's soccer team, national soccer team, to less of an extent, the existence of a U.S.-based professional soccer league inspires girls to take up and commit to the sport. Now, the professional soccer league in the United States, Major League Soccer, makes a lot of money, and of course I can see why men who participate in a club would make more for equal performance than the women do who participate in a club. But for the national team, women got to get paid in the same formula. Sorry. Their team has a slightly better status in this, in the U.S. sports conscious. And the money bears it out. There's more that I can talk about on similar subjects, but we'll say that for the next episode. Until then, this is your boy, Frank Tinoco, saying hello and goodbye from North Memphis. See ya. Hasta luego.